define the difference between AMERITA and socialism.
Luke?
Okay, this is my specialty.
All right.
So socialism pretty much is like you get everything, and like don't necessarily have to work for it. So Meritism, so there's two things. There's socialism, and on the other end there's capitalism. And the Meritism, which we made, is right in the middle. Like, you gotta work hard, but you get things. Like, jobs give the same opportunities.
I'm already a fan of this strategy here, because the hardworking then are rewarded, okay, versus the people that want to just kick their feet up and do nothing. Well, then you get nothing. So how would you, in this scenario, how do you go to college? I mean, you walk into Wegmans and you just take what you want, and they go, oh, it's the Medinas. They're fine. They're hard workers. We're gonna let them fill their cart up. Or they see, someone else walk in who's a slacker, and they go, my boy, he gets nothing.
What does Eddie Lacy get?
He sucks.
Yeah. This is where the idea of dystopia versus utopia comes in. And when people read the book, we're finding they can't decide, do I want to live in this society or not? Because to live in this society, you've got glowing over your hand a number ranging from 1 to 10. And if you're going to live in this society, you take this test and it determines what kind of job you should have. And number 10 means you're working as hard as you can. Number 1 means that you're hardly working at all.
And do you have the option of choosing not to live in this society where, hey, listen, dude, I'm going to be a farmer on my own and just handle stuff?
Yes, you do. Let me jump back to the Wegmans example.
Okay.
People with a 9-10, they're shopping at Wegmans, okay? And they are allowed to go in and take what they need. And a 1, I don't want to say other names of stores, but they're not.
Connie's 18-hour mini mart?
Yeah, that's,
Right.
yeah. But it's important, an important concept in the book too, is even if you're a 1, whatever food you get, it provides the exact same nutritional value as the 10s are getting.
Okay.
But instead of lobster and steak, you're eating a lot of porridge.
PB&J. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So everybody, and if you don't want to live in this society, or if your score drops below a 1, then you're put out to the exile area. And there's an exile area in western New York between Rochester and Buffalo, kind of like...
also known as Batavia?
Think Snake Plissken.
Oh, love
escaped
it.
to New
Yeah.
York.
Kurt Russell, baby.
I haven't heard that name in forever.
That's a great reference, Snake Plissken.
Oh, yeah, Snake's referenced in the book.
So what was the premise behind... First of all, how long did it take you to write this? And when did you come up with the concept?
I don't even know.
I mean, this has been a very, last 16 months have been very political, obviously.
Yes.
We have an election once every 4 years, but, we've never seen an election like the one that we just had. And so, then to see a book with, the flag sort of redone and not America but Amerita, you think, was this written because it was an election year and there are a lot of different ideas floating around that maybe we haven't considered before?
It blends together.
Or it was just sort of coincided with
the election.
Coincided. And it's just a, like serendipity. It's a happy accident. Like, hey, this worked out great.
It was total serendipity. In the summer of 2004, we were at Disney World, Luke and me and my wife Tina and our cousins. And this book came from one single idea.
2014.
2014 is when
I was going to be like, yeah, dude, you
what did
must
I
have
say?
been like
You said
Uber.
2004.
Wow, that's a long time to make. Yeah, all right. 2014, 2.5 years ago. So we're at Disney, waiting at a bus stop, and for whatever reason, I just said to Luke and my nephew CJ, I said, wouldn't it be great if people were able to go to Disney because of how hard they worked, not because of how much money they could save? That's all I said. And for the next 7 days when we were there, Luke, me, and CJ, that's all we did. We talked about how we could make that happen, this society that we could build. Being at Disney, very inspirational, very creative place. It kind of fueled that. And then 2.5 years later, we got a book.
And that's so true too, because Disney's not cheap, and I know that everybody out there knows families or people that are extremely hard workers that may not necessarily be compensated or rewarded for their hard efforts, but they're still they're busting their butt.
That's right.
And, who wouldn't want to go to Disney World? I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have been there many times through my dad's work opportunities. And then as an adult, I went and paid my way because, I love Disney.
Which was when?
I went to Disney in my late 20s when I was, I worked for what's now Verizon, but I wanted to go back to Disney World as an adult. And, it was still just as awesome as when I was, because I'm a kid at heart. I mean, I love the rides. I want to ride Space Mountain and, see everything that it has. And, and not everyone gets to enjoy that. They just don't. I mean, it's something that I would hope I would never take for granted, but I could see some people that are fortunate enough to go, here and there or multiple times, maybe not considering putting it on a pedestal, but then you think, hey man, people work hard all the time. Why shouldn't they be allowed to go? So
you got it. That's exactly what we were thinking.
In case you're just tuning in, we're talking to Marty and Luke. They have a book called AMERITA, and we are chatting with them about this. We had them on a couple of years ago about another book. Luke, I'm your father.
Yeah, Luke, I'm your daddy.
Luke, I'm your daddy.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the cover, is the 10 stars because of the 10 scale?
You got it.
Okay.
And the 10. Let me tell you a little bit about the
And
flag.
wait, tell me, so, is there any significance to the smallest star?
Yes.
Okay.
Each star is 10% smaller than the other one, and they represent the numbers 10 through 1. The smallest star, you can see it's close to the black border, that black line. That black line's
You're about to get
exile.
ousted.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the 10 stripes are equal width, representing that every job out there, every vocation that anybody does, has equal importance in society.
So,
Well, except for the professions that have been banned in Amerita, such as bankers, because there's no more currency.
my former profession. I love it. Screw that job.
Yeah, career politicians gone.
Love it.
Advertising and marketing gone. Advertising and marketing gone. Can I talk a little bit about
okay, continue.
WBER and
Sure.
the tie-in? So on page 67, Luke. Oh, and Luke is the main character. He's 48 years old.
Wow, dude.
So-
Now, let me ask you, Luke. And you're 13 now? Okay. So does 48 seems like ancient, right?
Yeah.
Times that by 2, that's how old
Okay.
Pepper is right now.
So someday, when you're 48, you'll realize I'm not really that old. I mean, it is, because, dude, you see a lot of things in your life by the time you get to 48. But then you'll be like, can't believe I thought that was really old when I was like 13. So, all right, so continue. So this 48-year-old Luke in the future.
Yeah, he's driving his car. He kicks butt in the future. He knows
course.
Muay Thai. He wrote all the action in the book and basically wrote himself as like a kick-ass kind of.
Right.
Awesome.
Kinda guy.
Hey, man, of course. You're not going to rate yourself in the book as like a slug.
Yeah, right.
Luke sat on the couch doing nothing,
Yeah.
admiring the one on his hand.
Right, and also in this future there is a pharmaceutical available that has cured his heart disease.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, of course, because that's what we strive for.
That's what we're
going
looking for.
forward.
Okay, so WBER. Luke's 48 years old. He's driving down the highway in his electric car. It's a Prius. So.
Is he driving or is the car driving? He's just sitting in it.
He might have put it on auto navigation. So look, when you're 48 years old, you got to turn it to WBER. Now the reason WBER is important in this book is because one of the themes is no more marketing, no more brainwashing, no more deceptive practices. Everything's popularity is fueled by customer reviews, kind of like Amazon. If you see something with a lot of positive reviews, you're going to go for it. You guys don't have commercials. You are the radio station of the future. You are driven by your users. Look at the fantastic fundraiser that you just had, right?
Wait, can we get a recording of Marty?
Why are we now recording this? Yeah, this is brilliant.
Yeah. You are here because of your fans. In the future, you are here
true.
because your fans give you good ratings. All those pop stations around that, again, I don't want to mention names.
You can name drop.
Stop.
They're fueled by commercials. They're fueled by people paying them to advertise.
Right. And they're told who to play and when to play. And
Yes, and you have non-commercialized artists on here all the time, and I wanted to say this earlier, but thank you guys so much for having us on, because we are self-published, we are non-commercialized, and you're giving us a voice.
You're welcome. And
here's to WBER, the radio station of the future.
Well, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, absolutely. That might have to be the next motto of ours, the radio station of the future. Kind of hard to believe that, when we started this station 31 years ago that you
32.
32 and soon. Yeah,
No,
because
October is our birth month.
Well, wasn't 85 our birth year?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're still technically in. It's 31 by numbers, our 32nd year. Don't concentrate on that, you chooch. So, kind of hard to believe that when, we would start up all these years ago that, that this could be the format for the future. You just wouldn't have known that when you started it 30 years previously.
So in 2051, you'll have been here for how many years?
Man, I started at BER in 95, so in 51
you'll be like 82, right?
74 years?
It's in 2051, I'll be 18 years shy of 100, so I'll be 82 years old.
Okay.
Rock it out.
I'll be 81.
Awesome.
Joey, how old will you be when you still be here doing the
I'll be
FMS?
82, he'll be 79. Yeah. Yeah, and I'd like to think so. There was a time like 10 years ago where I had my exit strategy for like the fall of 2013, and I couldn't have.
SS and 2B started becoming too tight.
Yeah, I just thought like maybe I've run my course, and I really wanted to turn my shift over to my niece. But you know what? This is who I am and what I do. This is who I am and what I do, and I love BER, and I still have massive satisfaction from this station, so no need to change that.
Who knows? We may all be here in 2051 saying, "Hey," kind of like there was the Back to the Future day, right?
Yeah, right.
There were kind of a hovering skateboard, but there weren't flying cars or anything. But who knows?
Self-lacing shoes that now are reality thanks to Nike. So
life imitating art or art imitating life. Who knows?
One of those two. So what is the next project, father-son project that you're going to work on?
Wow, good question.
That you're on the what's that, Luke?
The prequel.
The prequel to this?
Or sequel, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for a prequel because we don't know what happened between early 21st century and 2051. How do we get from point A to point B?
So you just picked up and boom, we're off and running. Right. So you do have a lot of mobility to go up and down. So when you self-publish a book, then how do you get it into rotation? I mean, other than coming on BER and us talking about it, but I mean...
Well, Luke's going to bring a bunch of copies to school, right?
Yeah,
how big's your list of people who want a book?
Pretty big.
Pretty big, yeah.
And I'm sure, Luke, you probably have like all your buddies are like, dude, am I in the book? Could you put me in there? Are we still... that's where you can be like, no, dude. You didn't make it to 2051. Your lazy habits never made you live that long. No.
Well, so there's a misconception about getting a book published. Nowadays, if you get your book published by a publishing house and you're an unknown author, they're going to take a cut of the royalty, and they're still going to make you promote it yourself.
Really?
Yeah. It's exactly what I thought when I learned that. So the motivation to look for a publisher is... we couldn't find it. So it's like, well, let's just publish it ourselves since we're going to have to market it ourselves anyways. How do we market it? We stoke the fire, give out a bunch of free copies, sell them cheap, go on awesome radio stations, see if listeners will.
You can sort of create your own tour.
What's the best website people can go to find out more information?
AMERITA.us. AMERITA.us.
Now, .us is a new one.
It is. Yep.
You know what's funny doing this, talking to you, Marty? You know who Marty looks like to me a little bit?
You're anti somebody?
No. He looks like
younger Lamanna?
No. He looks like he could be the brother of somebody. See, look at him and see. Someone that's BER related.
BER related.
But don't necessarily think a DJ.
Oh.
BER Bosie's related.
You think he looks like he could be related to Steve Orkin?
Yeah, he looks. I think
really?
He looks like him and Steve could be brothers.
Not enough to be the anti-Steve though.
Right.
Okay.
Man, I like Steve, so it's a good.
My boss.
It's a good comparative.
Dude,
Yeah.
Now we've got 3 copies of the book to give away. So if there's, unless Marty needs these books back.
No, I got 5. I got a couple more in my car.
So 381-4353, 381-2386. However you want to get us, we'll give you a copy of AMERITA, just for listening to the only station that matters.
And we'll just say the first 3 callers. And
First 3, and then
I'll hammer it out.
If Marty brings us a couple more books, and we get some spillover callers, we'll take that.
This is cool, though. I'm glad you guys came back on, and how awesome. Luke, you've done a lot of cool stuff at such a young age. I hope you appreciate all this stuff.
Hey, hold on 1 second, all right?
You know, you
BER,
so
hold on 1 second.
is there anything that's like the funnest thing for
got
you?
a book. Hold on 1 second. Though.
This is what non-commercial radio sounds like. We're talking, and then he's in the background on the air, but not necessarily on the air.
That was the intern. That wasn't me.
Right, intern Josh. Yeah, Luke, what's the most fun thing that you have? Time that you have?
I don't know. I think just writing this book and like coming up with ideas to just make a book. I mean.
And my most fun part was when Luke and I were batting around the action sequences. We would go in the basement and act them out.
And Luke,
how many times did Mom yell at you for
I
that?
was always the bad guy, and he always kicked my butt. Yep.
See, this is valuable father-son bonding time right here, Luke.
Yeah.
It is.
So
Joey and JoJo and the football. Very valuable father-son bonding.
yes, it's
important.
There's nothing like a father-son bonding experience, so I highly recommend it.
So just make sure you're as creative of a dad in the future in 2051. Do you have kids in this? Are you married by that time?
Yeah.
Yeah. So his
No, don't do it. Oh, okay,
his
continue.
his marriage in the future is now limited to only women with the name of Amanda. So.
Oh man.
So if he brings anybody home who's not named Amanda, we're gonna have to ask
Is it
him to pick
Amanda
someone
or
up.
Amanda?
Amanda.
What movie's that from, Luke?
I don't know.
Can't Hardly Wait, a classic. So Luke, and I know they may not be WBER bands, but give me some bands or artists that you're into right now.
Well, I haven't been listening to the radio much because I kept listening to the songs from School of Rock just to get prepared.
Sure.
But so I turned on the radio station the other day and we started listening to it in the car, and I'm just sitting there like, what happened? Because we were listening to 98 PXY.
Right.
But the last artist I can remember that I used to wait for his songs to come on was Lucas Graham.
Okay. Pepper's gonna play that one out at the bars in like 15 years. Usually it
I
takes
know.
that long to debut stuff.
Hey, the bar likes it when I play old school music.
Do you have an aux cord?
Yeah, I told that girl to pound it.
Marty, what about you? What have you been liking this year? Anything in particular?
Well, I've been listening to a lot of Tragically Hip this year.
Yeah.
Yep.
For
obvious
various reasons.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's,
Right.
I've been listening to WBER. First time I heard you, WBER was in 1988.
Wow.
I grew up in Messina, so all we
Okay.
had was Pac 93. You had Casey Kasem in the top 40. When I came to Rochester in 1988 to visit my sister at RIT, I heard the Cure. I never heard music like that before. I'm like, this is amazing. Every time I came back to visit her, as soon as I got in range, turned it to 90.5.
You know, it's so funny that you would say that because we've talked about this time and time again, how if you grow up in Rochester, maybe you take for granted WBER, and then you go to another market and you listen to, you channel surf, and then you think, man, a lot of this sucks. And it's the same stuff.
And you got to listen to commercials.
Totally. And, here I was talking to one of the artists that we play on this station, Angelo Rose, who's a local guy, and we were just talking about BER is like 5 radio stations in one, because you're listening to it and you hear the Ramones, and then the next song you hear is Fatboy Slim, and the next song you hear is Ani Meatloaf, Ani DeFranco, and all of a sudden you're
BER plays Meatloaf?
and all of a sudden you're going back and forth and you're like, what just happened here?
Yeah.
Because the format is just so open, but also, man, it's something for everybody.
Well, there's over 10,000 songs in our database. You look at any other radio station in America, they cycle through only 500, 600 songs.
Yeah, and I remember a couple of years ago coming back from seeing my brother in North Carolina, and I, for some reason, was not listening to a bunch of CDs like I normally would in the car, and I listened to commercial radio, for like 10 hours, and I think I heard, the same song like 5 times, and I just thought, this sucks.
Unless it was ZZ Top Sleeping Bag.
Well,
it
then I
sucks.
just keep on listening.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so it's, nice to see that you could incorporate BER into your book for the theme of AMERITA. This is pretty awesome stuff. So again, we have 2 people on hold.
Yes. So we're gonna I'm gonna play a song here, and we'll get to the.
So there's one more book out there. Then if there's 2 people on hold, 381-435-3381, 2386. Hey man, sometimes you got to spell it out for these people. Listeners could be a little slow. Not that you're listening and you're slow.
Thanks to Marty and Luke for coming in today.
Thanks, guys. Luke, next time I want you to sing for us, though.
Okay.
Come on, man. We got to bring it full circle next time.